My name is Elena, and if there's one thing I've learned the hard way, it's this. Just because someone is family doesn't mean they deserve your sacrifice. This whole situation sounds like something straight out of Reddit drama, but I promise you, it's real. And it still doesn't feel real when I think about how everything unfolded. I'm 32 years old. For most of my adult life, I've been the responsible one in my family, the one who stayed quiet, the one who fixed problems, the one who carried everyone else's weight without ever asking for anything back. My younger sister, Lily, is the complete opposite. She's 24, charming, outgoing, confident, and completely entitled. Growing up, it was always clear who the favorite was. If Lily wanted something, she got it. If I needed something, I was told to figure it out myself. Be independent, Alina. You're the strong one. I heard those words so many times they became my identity. So I did exactly that. I worked hard, got into a decent university, paid for everything myself. Student loans, rent, food, no help. Meanwhile, Lily decided she wanted to go to a private college, an expensive one. Of course, my parents couldn't afford it, and somehow that became my responsibility. Just help her for a few years, my mom said. You're already working. She's your sister. At the time, I didn't even question it because that's what I had always done. I stepped in. I started working 2 jobs, one during the day at a marketing firm, another at night, freelance work, sometimes even waitressing on weekends. Every month, I paid for Lily's tuition, her rent, her books, sometimes even her shopping. And at first, she was grateful, or at least she pretended to be. "Thank you, Alina," she'd say. "I couldn't do this without you." But over time, that gratitude turned into expectation, then into entitlement. She stopped saying thank you, stopped updating me, stopped treating me like a person. Instead, I became a wallet. I'd see her Instagram stories, designer bags, fancy dinners, weekend trips. Meanwhile, I was eating instant noodles at midnight after a 14-hour workday. One day, I gently brought it up. "Lily, maybe we should cut back a little. I'm covering everything and it's getting hard." She laughed, actually laughed. "Relax, Alina," she said. "You're not broke." That was the moment something started to shift inside me. But I ignored it because she was my sister, because that's what family does, right? Wrong. The breaking point came at a family dinner, one of those big gatherings with relatives, exactly the kind of setting where family conflict quietly simmers beneath fake smiles. Everyone was there, my parents, my aunts and uncles, cousins, and of course, Lily. Dinner started normally, small talk, laughter. Then someone asked Lily about college. "Oh, it's amazing," she said. "I love my life right now." I smiled quietly because I was the reason she had that life. Then my uncle turned to me. "Elena, you must be proud. You've done well for yourself." Before I could respond, Lily cut in. "She works all the time," she said, rolling her eyes. "Honestly, I don't even get her life. No fun, no social life, just work." The table went quiet. Then she laughed again and said, "I mean, I'd rather enjoy my life than be a loser like that." "A loser?" She said it so casually, like it was nothing. But in that moment, everything stopped. I looked around the table, waiting for someone, anyone, to say something. My parents stayed silent. My aunts and uncles looked uncomfortable, but no one spoke. And that's when it hit me. Not only did my sister disrespect me, but my entire family allowed it. I took a deep breath, smiled, and said nothing. But inside, I made a decision. That night, I went home, opened my laptop, and canceled everything. her tuition payments, her rent transfers, every single expense I had been covering. Done. No warning, no discussion. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. 3 days later, my phone started blowing up. Why hasn't the rent been paid? My card got denied. Did you forget something? I ignored the messages. Then came the calls. Elena, what's going on? My mom asked, panic in her voice. I stopped paying, I said calmly. Silence. You what? I stopped paying for Lily's lifestyle. My mom's tone changed instantly. How could you do this? She depends on you. I laughed, not loudly, just enough to surprise myself. No, she used me. That weekend, they demanded another family meeting. This time, I was ready. We sat around the same table, the same one where I had been humiliated. Lily looked furious. Are you serious right now? She snapped. You just cut me off like that? I looked at her calmly. Yes. You're ruining my life. No, I said. I'm just no longer funding it. My father tried to step in. Elena, this isn't how family works. I nodded slowly. You're right. Family doesn't call each other losers while living off their money. Silence. Then I did something I had never done before. I told the truth. I worked 2 jobs for years. I sacrificed my time, my health, my life, so she could have opportunities. I looked directly at Lily. And you repaid me by disrespecting me in front of everyone. She scoffed. Oh, please, you're being dramatic. That word, dramatic. I smiled. Maybe, but dramatic doesn't pay your rent anymore. My mother started crying. My father looked frustrated. And Lily, she looked shocked. Because for the first time, she realized I was serious. I can't afford anything now, she said. I shrugged. Welcome to real life. That was the moment I began cutting off entitled family members. Not completely, but enough. I stopped answering unnecessary calls, stopped explaining myself, stopped feeling guilty. And something strange happened. I felt free. Months passed. Lily had to get a job, a small one at first, then another. No more luxury, no easy life, just reality. We barely spoke, and honestly, I was okay with that, because I had finally learned something that changed my life. Helping someone who doesn't respect you isn't kindness, it's self-destruction, and I was done destroying myself. So yeah, maybe this sounds like one of those viral Reddit stories, but for me, it wasn't just drama. It was a turning point. And if you're in a situation like mine, let me tell you something I wish someone had told me sooner. You are not obligated to sacrifice your life for people who wouldn't do the same for you, even if they're family, especially if they're toxic relatives. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is finally say, no more.